Good morning. I'm Denise Dryden, bringing you my weekly insights as to what might be going on out there and what we can do about it, right? And today I want to talk about what if I'm wrong? And it came up a couple days ago in a session with a client, and it was kind of like, what if I'm wrong? What do I do if I'm wrong? And I'm thinking, this is such a wonderful question to bring to you, right? So, first and foremost, if you like this series, please check it, subscribe, do anything that you need to do, right, in order to make sure that you get these. And second, um, this is on a replay, so pass it around if it's something that settles with you and something that you recognize. Okay, so what if I'm wrong? So we are in this period between two eclipses, October 25th and November 8th, Tuesday. And as we, in previous videos, I've talked about how we're sort of swinging and our world is rocking, whether it's we are rocking personally, or our children, or our partners, or our pets, or like our extended family, or our neighborhood. We're just sort of noticing that people are a little tense. Things are not exactly smooth and easy right now, right? Okay, so nothing right now is going to go the way that we want it to go. We may think we know what we want it to do, and we're going down a path, and then something tower moment, some like huge disruption will come in, and we'll go, oh wow, I was really committed to going that way, and something changed, right? So we're learning how to bend our knees and how to respond, how to how to make choices. And we're making them almost hourly now, which is, how am I doing? Bend my knees, move with it, respond, right? So with this question that came through this week, which is, um, what if I'm wrong? And what if I'm wrong? What if I'm wrong? It's such a huge question. So I've been pondering it from a lot of different levels. And I even talked to a really dear friend last night in New York about it, which is, it's a huge question to ask and to hold and to receive, which is, what if I am wrong? What if I didn't have all of the information I needed? What if things changed? What if I've changed my mind? Right. So of course we're going to have questions, and we're going to have doubts, and we're going to go into second guessing, because we are in the period of time right now where we're making choices, right? And these choices aren't easy. These choices are not going to be the kind of choices where you go, oh, that was an easy one to make for me. These are choices that are life changing. Like, we just went through a recent pandemic, right? And within this pandemic, there were families and individuals that made choices as to how they were going to care for themselves, how they were going to protect themselves, and how they were going to protect their children. So we don't really know how any of this is going to play out. And we made choices, right? And no one can see what you see in your body. That's the part that I want to really drive home today. So nobody can see what you see in your body. You may have someone standing next to you, and they might feel like they see what you're seeing, but no one can be in your body having your experience with your memories, um, and see what you see, right? So when we make these choices, we make choices sometimes to be unique and different. We make them to be rebellious. We make them because we follow our gut. We make them to appease. Like, it's important to him or her. I'm going to do it, right? Or we make it to help, to be it sort of community minded. A lot of people made decisions during the pandemic, to help others, right? So when we have sovereignty, when we have this power, this right to choose, we also have this culture that's standing up against us, especially a conditioned, programmed culture that doesn't want us to step into our individuality and our right to choose. So we're in that sort of battle. I've got notes over here, because if I don't look at my notes, I will ramble. So I have these little markers. So when we exert our right to choose, like, what kind of job we want to work, what kind of career we want to build, who we want to marry, whether or not we're going to have children, where we want to live, how we want to vote, what our lifestyles are, we're going to face those feelings that I may have chosen exactly what I needed to do at that time, and it may have been wrong. It may have been wrong, but I had all of the information at this time. So when we go into wrong, we go through this anxiety, this overwhelm, this angst, which is, I think I made a mistake. Oh no, oh no. And with all of the profound shifts and changes that are going through our culture right now, whether it's political, whether it's global, whether it's medical, whether it's financial, whether it's economic, right? What we're doing is we're navigating by what we listen to, by what we see, by what we hear in our body. And so, what I made an analogy because I was talking with another client about, the attraction of video gaming for so many is that it has this open plethora of, if you make this choice then you go that way, if you make this choice then you go that way, and it's very much the Fool card, which is, this Fool is a 0 on the tarot because, the Fool has made has gone through the major arcana and played every single role and knows that no matter what path it chooses, it's gonna land on its feet and be okay. So when the Fool has the ability to sort of surrender and fall right off and land and go, "So I guess this is what I'm gonna be doing now. This is the choice I'm making. If I go right, it's right. If I go left, it's right. If I go straight, it's right." Because what we're looking at is creating open loop systems, which is wherever I go, I'm going to start a new adventure. This new adventure is going to take me where I need to go. So the question is what if I'm wrong? Whew, is so much bigger than that, right? So going back to what if I'm wrong? You might be. You might have assessed it all incorrectly and you're wrong. Um, you might feel like it is, and it isn't. It might unfold into a journey that you didn't want at all, taking you into victim experiences, taking you through financial ruin, taking you through a lot of different places, but it's still a journey. And you may be challenged and you may be hurt, and you may have the ability to sort of challenge your deep sense of self, which is, how did I make this choice? Yet, the bigger question isn't, am I wrong? The question is, what do I do now? What do I do now that my feet are on the ground and there's a trail ahead of me and this is the choice I've made, and how do I go forward? What skills am I learning now? What skills am I going to learn? What's in front of me? What's inviting me? How do I respond to what's in front of me, right? And how am I going to stretch and do things outside my comfort zone? Which is, like somebody asked me to do something that's very foreign to me, yet my body is responding. Somebody may say, "What if you've outgrown the job that you're in?" And you're like, "Whoa, but I'm so secure in this job, right?" So this is where we're talking about. Yet this change, this ability to decide, maybe it's not wrong. Maybe it's just has some emotions around it, right? So I have 5 tips for you today on what to do with what if I'm wrong, right? So the first one is to embody your choice. Feel it in your body, play with it in your mind, explore it in your heart, right? And listen to your soul, because all of these are trying to guide you out of maybe a rut, out of a cage, out of a very um, dull, asleep life. And it may not make sense to you or to your partner or to your children or to your bosses or to your friends. I've picked up and moved from Texas to Bend. And everybody who built these homes with us in Texas was like, "Why would you leave? We have everything we need here." And it's like, I gotta go to Bend, Oregon. And so my husband and 3 children rented 2 U-Haul trucks and we drove everything to Bend, Oregon. And man, there were times when we first got there, like, what did we do? Oh no. And we tried to buy a property that fell apart. How could we have been so wrong, right? And yet everything beautiful started when we made the decision to move to Bend. So this is sort of how we follow that calling. And those on the outside, especially those you're leaving, they are not going to understand. So what we do is we become a model and we lead by going like, I can't explain it, but my body tells me to go this direction, right? Okay. Number 2, fear, doubt, and second guessing is just nothing but a swirl of energetic chaos. It's just a swirl. And it's not helpful, because when we start to second guess, then we become immobile. We lock down and we try to wait it out, and then we get stuck, right? It debilitates us. It stops us from being present. It stops us from being wise. It stops us from being able to respond. We're not open. We're not seeing any of the communications that spirit or that God, that the world drops in front of us all the time, like these little crumbling trails that is like, go over here, go this way, we really want you to go this right? So when we're choosing to embrace this, what we do is we embrace being responsive, being wise, and sort of like actually like pushing fear and doubt out of our body, right? Number three, renegotiate. I love that. I'm going to renegotiate. I thought I was going this way and I'm going to change my mind and I'm going to go that way. And do it beautifully. I thought it through. I've checked in with my body. I've been pondering it for myself and I know that this is what I want to do or this is what I don't want to do. So you can always renegotiate. That's the most beautiful part. Is you can make a choice and then stop and follow your gut. Again, I could start to go down this path, it going this way, and then renegotiate and go, I'm going to take a shortcut and get over there and go that direction because the mountains are so much more beautiful that way, right? Whatever the term is, whatever it is that gets you going in that place, right? Because what we're doing is we're not wrong. We don't think we're wrong. What we're doing is we're steering ourselves in a different direction and choosing something else. So this renegotiation is a beautiful skill set, which is I'm just going to have to renegotiate. It's not working right now, right? Four, trust. I love this card. This is going with the flow. This is the Ace of Cups. And the Ace of Cups is, if you fight the current, if you try to hold on and you try to resist it, water is just so powerful. Water, our emotions, our intuition, everything is just so powerful. Yet, if we even relax and flow with it, it takes us where we want to go. So we trust ourselves. And I recently had a conversation that trust is actually, energy. Trust is actually God. Trust is actually how spirit embodies us, right? So when we trust our body, we trust our heart, we trust our soul. And we look back at the choices that we've made, and almost every time we didn't like where we landed, we didn't think we made the right choice, yet it opened the door for something else. In 1985, I moved to the South Jersey and lived in a garden apartment and started a business. They were managing trade shows. And there was a time where I was like, how did I go from beautiful Portland, Oregon to New Jersey to this section to this life? And again, how could it have been anything but magic looking back on it? Because it started everything, right? So this is where our growth and our tools and our new relationships and opportunities show up when we trust. When we trust. Okay. Number five, I'm going to hit the last one all the time, which is have compassion for those who struggle, for those who are struggling with their own insecurities, their own lack of clarity, their own fears and doubts, their own repercussions that come when we make a choice. Because every time we make a choice, there's going to be a natural environment that goes with that choice. Sometimes it's not going to be fun. It's not going to be pretty. So what we do is we have compassion for all of us who have to make choices, hard choices right now, and they're not over. We are living in a time where we're going to be stretched. We're living in a time where what we think is going to happen isn't going to happen. Excuse me. We are also living in a time when we can create complete openings into new pathways that didn't exist before. So I want to keep, hitting this topic over and over again, which is what if I'm wrong? And then I want to say, what if there's no such thing as wrong? What if there are choices that we make and how we choose is how we navigate our way forward. So this is the kind of thing I've been doing more and more of over the last 2 years with my coaching. If you are interested in this topic, want to explore it with me, you can find me on DeniseDryden.com. You can get all my contact information down below in the link. And I also have a little buy me a cup of coffee thing because I've been doing these for free for years. And if you want to show appreciation, buy me a cup of coffee. I will see you next week on the other side of the eclipse, on the other side of the US election, on the other side of life. See you then. Take care. Bye-bye.